Time now for women's rights campaigner Kellie-Jay Keen, and explosive new details have emerged of the violent altercation we first brought to you yesterday between a trans Starbucks worker and a customer who was accused of being transphobic. Now, the worker was sacked by the coffee giant after a video of the row went viral online, and cops in Southampton are now investigating an alleged assault. This is what went down.
You didn't stop being transphobic.
You're rude. Absolutely not. Don't ever call me transphobic. Ever. You do not know me.
You're being transphobic, Karen. Now get out.
Do not call me transphobic.
You are transphobic. Now get out.
I want a refund.
You're not having one, do you?
Please then.
Hi, get out.
Absolutely.
You are trespassing now.
They've got cameras.
You are trespassing.
They've
Get
got
out.
cameras.
Get out. You are trespassing.
Apparently, Wu said something transphobic.
You actually,
In a sensational new development today, the female customer at the centre of the row, Vanessa Thomas, says the argument kicked off because she addressed a second trans worker as lady when she didn't identify as one. Now, one person who's no stranger to this sort of trans extremism is Kellie-Jay Keen, who in March was doused in tomato soup by violent trans campaigners in New Zealand as she held one of her Let Women Speak events in defence of female-only spaces. So, Kelly, there's been lots of heated debate about the Starbucks incident. Do you think they were right to sack this employee?
Yeah, I mean, the ridiculous accusation of transphobia aside, I think any customer-facing role, who would want to employ somebody that has a go and intimidates customers? Absolutely horrendous, entitled behaviour. To think that you could behave ever like that in a place of work, it's ridiculous.
And I guess one of the issues is that this sort of incident is making ordinary folk so concerned to just address people normally, isn't it? Because, I mean, presumably what happened here is the bloke looked like a bloke, and so the customer wasn't trying to purposely be offensive or anything, just referred to him as a bloke.
I think she actually referred to the woman behind the counter as lady. She said something like, oh, that lady said, and then he took offence, and then I think she did the double whammy of calling a man. So I think she hit the jackpot, really. But it's, come on. I just think, my advice to everybody is don't be afraid, just speak the truth. And if the people that you're addressing can't handle the way that you speak about them, usually when they're not there, or the way you refer to them to other people, then I think you just have to put that aside and just remember that they eventually will get to the age of adulthood.
Do you think the Starbucks worker is almost a victim in this too? And stick with me here, Kellie-Jay, because if we keep brainwashing our kids, our youth in society, to tell them that biological reality doesn't exist, to tell them that you can wake up one morning and say that you're a they and demand that the world refer to you as they, but then in the afternoon, actually you're a she, and I've got to start calling you a she. I mean, this is literally what they are being told is acceptable. So actually, do we need to feel sorry for some of these youth as well? Because it's actually the messages that they're being fed growing up.
I think my sympathy runs a little dry when it comes to fully grown adults not acting like adults. But I think you're right. We are grooming these children into extended adolescence where they honestly think that whatever they say goes for the rest of the world. And most of us had a rude awakening at some point or another, usually in our early teens, that we couldn't get away with continually acting like prepubescent children. But these kids, they've just, time and time again, their feelings, their immediate, for the next 5-minute feelings have been centered over actually making sure that they are a valued and valuable member of society. So a bit of discipline back in school, starting at, I don't know, the age of about 4, when we say to children, no, and we mean it, rather than, I mean, my kids went to a school where, honestly, they did not say the word no. They had traffic lights, or they had red cards or yellow cards, and actually sit down, be quiet and listen, I think is a good start.
Isn't this also, Kellie-Jay, a reason why including pronouns in emails, and by the way, lots of students and lots of employees are told that they should do this, isn't it why it's so dangerous? Tucker Carlson has had leaked footage of him over the past 24 hours saying that he didn't think anyone who included their pronouns on an email should be able to work for his old employee Fox News. And I think the problem with the pronoun debate is that, again, it adds to this idea that we should change our language.
I mean, that Tucker Carlson footage, let me just say, just as an aside, it just made me like him just a lot more.
I know, I felt the same. I was like, is this trying to damage the bloke? Because it ain't working if that is the case.
No, just thought, what a hero. But when it comes to the pronouns, I think it's right. I think most of us, except not too many people besides our loved ones and, you know, close friends and family really care about us very much at all. To think that other people may care whether or not I think, or however I feel about myself, that I should put it in an email, you know, in writing, and sort of say to that person at the end of a letter, by the way, when you think about me, please can you remember this pronoun when you think about me in your own head, or talk about me when I'm not there. It's really quite preposterous. I mean, there was a picture the other day, I don't know if it made the news, it certainly made Twitter, of Eddie Izzard entering a women's
I saw
toilet.
that. I saw that, yeah.
Entitlement is just everywhere in this particular movement. And I think we all have to stand up like grown-ups and say, no, no more, that's enough.
Well, thank you to Standing for Women founder, Kellie-Jay Keen.